IVM.
Hi everybody, just wanted to ask everyone for a quick favor. We're running a brand survey right now and would really appreciate it if you could let us know what you think about the advertising on IVM. Go to ivmpodcast.com/survey and do let us know. As part of this, we'll be selecting 10 random participants and sending them some IVM swag, so do fill out those surveys.
Hello and welcome to the Habit Coach Podcast, the bite-sized podcast filled with quick and easy actionable habits. Remember, great habits create that awesome life. I am Ashdin Doctor, your habit coach. And today's fun fact of the day has to do with the movie Back to the Future. Did you know that in the movie, the first trip they make in Back to the Future is to my birthday? Yeah, they go to 21st October 1985 when I was celebrating, my second birthday. And then to 21st October 2015 when I was celebrating my 32nd birthday. Okay, so maybe this is not one of the most relevant fun facts that I've ever shared on this show, but hey, it's a fun fact for me. You see, the movie Back to the Future was a huge hit. My dad and I must have watched it multiple times. And I loved the way in which he was in the future and there was a skateboard that floated off the ground. Now, how cool is that? No need for wheels. Imagine flying cars and 3D holograms instead of TVs. I used to imagine what I would do if I had a time machine and I could go anywhere in time. Would I go to the future or would I go to the past? Where would I go? More importantly, what would I do in the present if I knew what was going to happen in the future? You see, the main plot of the movie is how the bad guy goes into the future and realizes who wins the different World Cups and what happens in the stock markets, thus making a fortune for himself. But the point being is he still had to come back to the present to make the money. And if he had stayed in the future all his life, he would not have been able to use it to his advantage. In the same way, we don't have time machines, but we spend most of our life in the future. We spend our days planning and thinking and worrying about the future. In our minds, we have built such an amazing future for ourselves, but we completely miss the fact that planning for the future is completely useless if you're not going to enjoy the present. And I was listening to a talk by Alan Watts the other day, and he was talking about this interesting idea where he said that planning for the future is good, and man is the only animal that can plan for 5 years from now. You know, most animals can plan just for a day or for a few seasons at a time, like ants storing food for the winter. But humans can make plans not just for 5 years, but for the rest of their lives. Think about the way in which we buy life insurance. We are not just planning for our future, but the future of our loved ones. However, as your habit coach, I want to tell you that all this is useless. Useless unless you learn to really enjoy the present. You have to learn to enjoy the moment and what you have in life now, and not keep worrying about what you will have in the future. You also need to put into action all the things that you want now so that you can have a good future. I know so many people who just keep planning and end up doing nothing with those plans. It is completely useless. They have not enjoyed their life. They haven't solved the worries either. What's the point? So your simple habit starts by learning how to plan for the future, but only spend a short amount of time planning. Don't live in the future. Instead, learn to live in the present, where you can truly enjoy yourself. Make yourself feel happy and awesome right here, right now. So start these habits and share with us your progress using the hashtag #TheHabitCoach. If you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on social media. We are at IVM Podcasts on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, I am Ashdin Doc on Twitter and Instagram. You can find lots more information on my website, awesome180.com, or check out different content on my YouTube channel called AWESOME180. That's Awesome 180.
Hey, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. Postcards from Nowhere completes its 100th episode. Utsav speaks with Chuck, the host of Getting Meta, Origin of Things, Simplified, amongst others, about slow travel, the evolution of Postcards from Nowhere, and what drives him to travel. Tune in and discover the new manifesto of the show and get a glimpse of what's in store for the coming weeks. On The Habit Coach, Ashdin talks about the art of focusing with our eyes and how it's connected with our daily activities. On Echoes of India, Anirudh brings back to life the history of South Asia through his extensively researched narratives. And on Simplified, our four hosts, Chuck, Naren, Shriketh, and Tony, attempt to deconstruct these universal birthday rituals on the occasion of Chuck's birthday. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. And finally, we would like to thank our sponsors this week on the network, Fiat Cred, Bank of Baroda, Quarter, CoinSwitch Kuber, and Intuit India. Thank you so much for making this possible.
Do you wonder why China does the things that it does? Or want to know how we could improve online privacy? Or perhaps you're thinking about how we can kickstart India's economy? If you'd like to search for the answers to such questions, check out All Things Policy, a daily public policy podcast that covers everything from employment figures to aircraft carriers. Tune in from Monday to Friday for new episodes and fresh takes.